Crick Buzz centre stage, Adam Collins and Damien Fleming. Where else would you want to be but the middle of Lords, the afternoon before a World Cup final? It feels special today, doesn't it, Flem?
It does, and we're going to have a new winner. The Aussies are out. England have never won the World Cup. New Zealand have only played in one final. So I think it's exciting. England, the number one team coming in. They went a different route at times, but they are here at home. And New Zealand, there was times late in the tournament, didn't they? They lost 3 in a row that they just struggled into the semi-finals. But I think a bit of that blueprint, the way they beat India, if they can actually get that going tomorrow against England, they may win this World Cup.
There's a football team that's close to both your heart and my heart back in Melbourne, and the slogan for so long was doing it the hard way. And New Zealand know how to do it the hard way. They don't care if it's pretty, they don't care if it's perfect. They have the sensibility, the cricket smarts to make the runs they need to make, and they're able to do the basics well.
Yeah, and hopefully they've learnt from the chase against Australia here at Lords. They just didn't build any momentum at all and lost easily there. But we saw in the Indian game, Williamson and Taylor were getting some criticism, batting too slow, but they knew how the pitch was playing. And they knew that they had a very good bowling lineup, and particularly Henry coming straight back in and getting man of the match backed that up. But yeah, I really like New Zealand's bowling, but equally, that's as deep a one-day batting team, power hitting that I've ever seen this England team. In some ways, guys like Butler and that haven't had much of a chance lately, is it? Because they've started to dominate. But yeah, the ceiling for England's very, very high. But for New Zealand, they're going to scrounge. They're going to try and take the game as deep as possible. And if they get a chance, they can easily win this game.
Some lovely synergy between these two sides. England, after their terrible 2015 campaign, they looked at Brendan McCullum's New Zealand, who made the final at the MCG against Australia, and they said, that's who we want to play like. And now they're up against each other. Owen Morgan shared a massive hug with his old Middlesex teammate, Brendan McCullum, at the back of the pavilion earlier this morning. It's quite a neat little link between the sides.
Eddie, I saw Baz out the back. He didn't hug me. So what's going on there? We're going to commentate together this year. There was just a real distance between us. Owen's a good fellow, though. He has got. No, we love those two. And in some ways, I reckon England have played the Bazza way. It's whenever there's doubt in that 2015 World Cup, Bazza said, we're going for it. I think Kane Williamson is a slightly different, more calculated captain than Bazza, but that actually spirit of cricket has been passed down to Williamson's team. So this will be hard-fought contest. They'll be well behaved. They'll play within the spirit of the game, and afterwards, they'll definitely all have a beer together.
Speaking of hard, that pitch, it's green, but it's hard as a rock. It does make it fairly clear, though, we won't be seeing more than one spinner on either side, will we?
I don't think so. I mean, it is dry underneath, and maybe the curators kept that green grass just to bind it a little bit, because it did slow down a fair bit in that Australia-New Zealand game. But, early on, when Ferguson was bowling, his bounces were actually going through. So for all facets, I think they're going to come into play here. I think Santner and particularly Rashid will get turn. But for the quicks, Archer and Ferguson, Bolt, Henry, Wokes, how well did he bowl in the semi-final against Australia? They're going to be able to get some bounce and some movement with the early ball. And for the better batsmen, Williamson and Root and co, if you bowl badly to them, they're going to score big. Williamson's such a big wicket, though, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, he's been the one consistent form player for New Zealand. My worry for them is if he happened to get out cheaply, can they muster enough runs? They've got some power hitters down below, but, Guptill's been really disappointing. Brilliant in the field, but he is a bit of a white ball superstar. Can he lift for the final? Nichols and Latham, they haven't got going either, and they don't score that quickly. So there's still question marks for England to look at that batting and think if we can get the early wickets of Williamson and Taylor, we're right in this final.
We talk about experience, the idea of needing to lose a final to win one. That was the side you were involved in 96, Flem, and then they came here in 99. You took the big wicket that day, an experienced player, Saeed Anwar. Jofra Archer's been playing international cricket for about 5 minutes, and he's already one of the most, if not the most important bowler in the number one ranked side in the world. He seems to be just taking this all in his stride, and he's getting better by the match.
Yeah, well, he just warms up bowling his wrist spinners, left arm wrist spin and off spin. So could he do that in the final? That's how well he's bowling. I thought when there was conjecture whether they were going to put him into the squad, I thought they couldn't win without him. Because I wasn't sure about Wood's resilience. It's actually been quite good, hasn't he? He's got through the games, got a lot of wickets, genuine pace. But Archer's a threat, you can take him with the new ball. He'll get new ball wickets. Middle overs, we need a wicket. You go to Archer. And then he's probably the death bowler as well. So, he certainly has been the icing on the cake. Still a lot of good bowlers around there. Stokes is a bit of a luxury, isn't he? You need a wicket, you bring him on. And Plunkett's found the role. When Ali went out, let's go Plunkett. And we were talking about the other day, he was a genuine swing bowler, and now he's almost like a genuine cutter bowler, isn't he? And he bowls them into the pitch. So he's found a role for himself in that team. So they're a very, very complete team, England.
Huge day for both countries tomorrow, Flem. It's going to be on TV, free-to-air television in England, the first time a game's been covered in that way since the 2005 Ashes. It's also on free-to-air television in New Zealand. Whoever wins tomorrow, in closing, how much can it do for cricket in this country or in New Zealand to hold the trophy up for the first time at Lords?
I think it's still significant either way. And for people who haven't got pay TV in England, kids might see a Jofra Archer and go, I want to bowl like him. They see Josh Buttler belting the ball everywhere. I want to play cricket. You can do that. It's exciting. You can bowl as fast as Ferguson. You can have a technique like Williamson. So I think for world cricket, it's really, really significant. And probably out of two of them, imagine if New Zealand went, population of 4.8 million, they dominate rugby union. Imagine just the All Blacks have got a little competitor there holding up a World Cup cricket trophy, Kane Williamson.
As Kane Williamson said, for kids at home, it proves to them that anything is possible. After the game, we'll of course be back again. Adam Collins and Damien Fleming ahead of the World Cup on Crick Buzz Centre Stage. We absolutely cannot wait.